Let's talk about the ego. Okay, so what is the ego, right? This is, in a way, it's kind of a simple question, but in also another way, I think it's a question that's kind of hard to answer. I've been for a couple of years now trying to figure out what is the best way to explain this. And again, I was kind of saying earlier, there's this sort of meta awareness as I'm talking about the ego. I'm talking through my ego. And so there's really no way to fully step outside of it unless, if I was on psychedelics. And so to take an objective look at it is kind of impossible. But in general, it is our mask, right? It's the version of ourselves we project into the material world. It's all of our opinions. It's our beliefs, our behaviors, the way we perceive the world, and all the assumptions and perceptions driving that. It's developed from your experiences. It's compiled by your memories. It's basically how you distinguish yourself. It's your uniqueness. And that becomes a lot more apparent once you have the experience of being outside of it. And that's again, the kind of the irony of talking about it is I'm in it right now. We're all in it, unless somebody here is, tripping their face off. We're existing in our egos for the most part. And so it's hard to appreciate until you have that experience of stepping outside of it. And nonetheless, I'm going to do my best to illustrate that. Another main feature that is super important about the ego, it likes to be number one. Its function is self-importance. It is there to make us feel like we matter, like we, amongst the billions of people on the planet and potentially, uncountably many beings in the universe, somehow I matter. And without that, it would be kind of hard to function. It would be, we just might as well just be a pile of goo in the ocean, and like there's no real point in doing the human thing without it. So it wants nothing more than just to exist. And in doing that, the way it does that is through defense mechanisms, through these like protective measures that it really needs to get that message across to the user. And as we'll get into with this talk, those can become maladaptive, and that's really a lot of what I think we're all really kind of dealing with on a regular basis.